On October 13, 1972, a small Uruguayan Air Force plane carrying 45 people, including a rugby team from Montevideo, flew toward Chile. The group was young, full of life, joking, singing, excited for their match. They never made it. As the plane crossed the towering Andes Mountains, thick clouds swallowed the aircraft. The pilots misjudged their position, believing they had cleared the highest peaks. They hadn't. Without warning, the plane slammed into a mountain ridge at over 11,000 feet. The impact ripped off the wings, the tail sheared away, the fuselage slid violently down the snow-covered slope before finally stopping in the frozen wilderness. 12 people died instantly, others were severely injured. The survivors were stranded in one of the most hostile environments on Earth, surrounded by endless white mountains, freezing winds, and no vegetation in sight. They were completely alone. At first, hope was strong. They heard on a small radio that search teams were looking for them. They rationed their tiny supply of chocolate bars and wine caps. They melted snow for water. They used luggage as insulation against the freezing nights, where temperatures dropped far below zero. But after 8 days, the radio delivered devastating news. The search had been called off. The world believed they were dead. Food ran out quickly. There were no animals, no plants, nothing but snow and ice. Starvation became unbearable. The group faced a moral nightmare. The only available source of nutrition was the bodies of those who had died in the crash. It was not a decision made lightly. Many were deeply religious young men. They cried, they prayed, they debated. Eventually, they agreed. To survive, they would have to use what the mountain had left them. It was a choice driven by survival, not cruelty, not desperation alone, but the instinct to live. And it kept them alive. Just when things seemed unbearable, nature struck again. 17 days after the crash, an avalanche buried the fuselage while they slept. 8 more people died. The survivors were trapped inside for days in near darkness, struggling to breathe. Still, they refused to stop. After more than 2 months in the mountains, 2 survivors, Nando Parado and Roberto Canessa, made a bold decision. If rescue wasn't coming, they would find it themselves. Without proper climbing gear, carrying only makeshift supplies, they began hiking across the Andes. They believed Chile was a short walk west. They were wrong. What they thought was one ridge turned out to be endless mountain ranges stretching to the horizon. Still, they kept walking. For 10 days, they climbed peaks over 15,000 feet high, battling exhaustion, hunger, and freezing nights. Finally, they descended into a valley where they saw something unbelievable: a Chilean shepherd on horseback. They had found civilization. Rescue teams were alerted immediately. On December 22, 1972, 72 days after the crash, the remaining 16 survivors were finally rescued.